Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It turns out, on top of all of the other news that War Thunder has done over today, they have also decided to do a bunch of planned BR changes. I really wish they would kind of spread out these news items instead of doing them all on one day, because we've had 4 or 5 separate things just today which are happening, which is kind of hard to be able to go through and gets very confusing. So I apologize that when it comes to this video, there's not going to be a lot of editing. There's not going to be a lot of kind of professionalism that you usually see. Instead of that, there's just going to be me talking about the changes. Now, we're doing it live on stream because of the fact that I didn't know these were here until now. And so you get to enjoy wonderful, depressed Zonic, who chased the bag and unfortunately is seeing the consequences. This is a depiction of what the future Gaijin looks like when it comes to War Thunder if we continue along this path. So in this video, we're going to have a look at the ground changes and the naval changes. Naval, there's hardly any changes. In ground, there's a bunch of them. There's a ton of arcade ones. I'm not going to touch those. I generally play ground realistic when it comes to these things. So, you know, mainly just kind of tossing about with those things. And I'll leave it up to whoever plays ground arcade to talk about those things. So let's get started. First of all, we have this set of changes. The namer word I can't say, the Tricken. So this is the new namer that just came in, which is the Israeli one over here. So this one is going up in BR to 11.3. Kind of surprised. The major difference between this and the other namer is it has the trophy system, which gives it a lot of protection, but I didn't think it gave it enough to warrant another BR upgrade. The major thing about it is, though, it doesn't really make any difference to the vehicle because of the fact that you run it at 11.3 anyway, because you have the 2 Macavers there. So, and also the Ram Seagull. So it's now no longer on an island, but it's now forced into a new BR bracket, which may not always help it. Then you have the PT16T14 mod. This is going up in BR. Once again, this should have been done a very, very long time ago. If you don't know what the PT16 is, it's an event German Leopard 2, which they added a long time ago. And it's always been a lower BR bracket than the other Leopard 2s, which it never should have been. This vehicle is as powerful as the Leopard 2A4, and the only difference between this and the standard Leopard 2A4 in terms of weaknesses, it doesn't have as much armor, but that has never mattered with the vehicle, and also it doesn't get access to thermals, which, as we know, around this BR, general thermals, not very useful anymore. So the PT right here, the T14, it does get an autoloader, which means it has a 4-second loader on it. And since it doesn't have the updated damage model, you can't take out that loader, you can't do anything with it. So it is, in effect, just a better Leopard 2A4 in terms of firepower. So this should have always gone up. It should always be the same BR as the standard 2A4. This thing is a menace when it's allowed to be. And since it's an event vehicle, it's not accessible for everybody. And that kind of sucks. So it going up in BR is positive. The Chaparral going down in BR, not a surprise. The Chaparrals are not very good, but they are also, the MVD is being moved to tier 2, and then IM Substitute G is being moved to tier 3. So that kind of sucks. You'd want the missiles that it gets access to be easier to get, but it seems like, you know, rank 3 is the standard for kind of if you only have one thing to unlock in terms of armament. I would prefer it if they just got it better stock, and then you wouldn't really have to worry about it. That would be a much, much better situation. For the rest of the ground changes, they're mainly just up-BRing a bunch of AAs. So after Gaijin talking about in December that cast is a problem, especially at top tier, but not only at top tier, they are now up-tiering all of the different AAs that at least are able to be useful at the BRs. Even the ZIS-43. The ZIS-43, which is horrifically bad as an AA, and even as an anti-tank vehicle, that is also going up in BR. Like, why? Why are we putting up the trash can that is the ZIS-43? Why is that a thing? This is a ridiculously poor vehicle, and I don't know why they're doing it. It's just confusing. right? Like, I just don't understand. The T-77 going up, I do kind of understand, but they did just nerf its 50 cals, so I would have preferred if they had waited to see what would happen after the nerf, since they can now overheat and also, you know, have other issues. The AEC is going up to 3.7, which is a joke. The L62 going up is an even bigger joke, since this has a terrible time of actually going after aircraft. This is just used as a tank destroyer, the same as like the LVKV, which is why both of them are going up in BR when they shouldn't. Maybe we should teach German players specifically, but also American players and Soviet players, that you shouldn't just walk past people and actually shoot them in the face, right? Maybe we should start doing that instead of up-tiering stuff with autocannons, because people keep walking past them and getting blasted in the side. Right, we've got to stop this trend. The ZIS-12 94km going up, the CCKW going up, hilarious, and also the STKFC 6.2 is going up too. I'm guessing people are just rat gaming with it, but surely that can't be having as much as an effect as that. So yeah, at the end of the day, the ZST is going up. A lot of these are like the rapid fire, you know, AAs, but some of them are the tank destroyer AAs. I don't think or agree with a lot of these changes. I can understand the T-77. As I said, it's very powerful at the moment and in quite a nice place. Stuff like the AECAA, I just don't understand what I'm looking at here. And also stuff like the CCKW, there's this 12, none of these have any survivability, and even if you just land a rocket near them, like in the same universe, they just die. So it's just very confusing to me what they're doing with this. So this is very much like a tale of two halves, right? So up here, I would say these are generally positive changes. I know people will disagree when it comes to the namer, but at the end of the day, this change doesn't really mean anything. You're just gonna run it with, you know, the BR that you were anyway. The only issue is now when you get up tiered, you will have full up tier. So you will see full 12-0 matchmaking, and that will affect it quite aggressively. The PT16 T14, this is where all the premiums are. A lot of people play around this BR anyway, not going to make a difference. The Chaparral hopefully will be in a better place, and it also shows Israel needs more AAs at their higher echelons. The other AA changes, smack in the face for mid-tier players who have just been cast to oblivion in the last year or two with these open top AAs, which get overpressured even if something just goes near them. Pretty much all of these, if not all of these, are open top AAs, which all get destroyed by even just a single rocket landing near them. And it's just incredibly sad to see any of them go up. That's very, very unfortunate. And then also, for naval, so the Poltava goes down. I don't care. Battle cruisers are completely worthless in this game. Battleships, which aren't the meta ones, are completely worthless in this game because of the fact that the matchmaking right now is just all over the place. Now with the AI stuff, maybe it makes more sense. But unfortunately, like at those top tiers, it was you play 7-0 meta or you get donked on. And I'm sure the Poltava is in the same place as every other 6-3 and 6-7 in the game, which has this issue. The Atlanta going up is a grace from God. The prayers have been answered. The Atlanta is a disgracefully overpowered machine and was allowed for 2, 3, 4 years to be able just to destroy every single destroyer that ever existed. The Atlanta is in a very similar position to the Dido, where the Dido is just a very heavy destroyer. The Atlanta is incredibly similar. And because it's this heavy destroyer setup, it's able to put down so much hammer on anything that it faces. So the fact that this was 5-0 back in the day and the fact that it was 5-3 is completely laughable, especially when you compare it to like the other vehicles that are there. Like the New Orleans, I would take the Atlanta over it a million times out of 10, and then all the rest are of course 6-0, which are very powerful. But the Atlanta should have been 5-7 a long time ago. The Cyclone going down to 3-3, that's completely fine. You know, it's not a very powerful vehicle, and Coastal itself is in a very, very unfortunate state right now. So we're going to have to see what goes on with the Coastal stuff. I'm going to start playing a little bit more of it as we go forward, but unfortunately just haven't touched it enough to really go through it. So ground changes, half positive, half negative. Naval changes, two that don't really matter because of the AI stuff going on right now, and the Atlanta is a very positive change. So I'd say swings and roundabouts, but mainly positive from that front. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.